Let's bring Mick Aussie in.
Mick.
Let's bring Mick in here. Mick knows CFL. What's going on, Mick? How you doing?
Oh, big night, as you know, the AFL Grand Final, CFL, and big story with the BC Lions and the Stampeders last week with the sucker punch, on the Lucky Whitehead. Whoa, those Stampeders didn't like getting beaten.
They're scumbags. I'm not surprised. What's the new in game? Wow, it's 34.5 now, Dave. 34.5.
Oh my goodness! What? That's
all right. I'm gonna wait for it to come down and bet the over after. It'll open up as the game goes on. I'm gonna wait till it. Give me Hamilton are moving the ball right now. All right, Mick. Yeah, we're fired up. Big. Who'd you pick in this game, Mick? Montreal or Hamilton?
Oh, I'm going to stick and keep some faith with Hamilton. They haven't been going too good. But finally, the quarterback, Evans, came good recently, and I think they might come good, but who knows, mate? Up and down, that team. I kind of like the Alouettes too. Not real keen on their coach, the former Eskimos coach, but maybe the Tiger Cats.
It was kind of an all-over-the-place answer there, but thanks, Mick. Hey, Dave, I asked him a simple question. All right, let's get into the AFL.
Wait, ask him about Mick. What was Gabe? What was the game that you were talking about? Was such a good sporting event. What was?
So we got the AFL Grand Final tonight's the championship. Sydney Swans and the Geelong Cats. And Mick, I'm assuming you had a few, and congratulations, Edmonton. Shout out to the Elks, big win last week. I'm assuming you had a few because you were not up, were you? And even I was up. And I got to be honest, the reason I was up because I did not have a few. I wasn't drunk, so I was up at like 5 in the morning, right? So I know I had money on the game. I wasn't planning. It wasn't like, oh, I can't wait to watch this. But I bet on it, and it came on, and we were live on the air actually, and I saw they were doing a national anthem and stuff, and I bet on it more. I bet the over, and I'm watching a game and stuff, and Sydney are smoking them. They're smoking them, right? Dave, I think it was 81-39 at one point. I think at the half it was 75-40, 74-40 type thing. It was a rout. It was an absolute rout. And then the Magpies just wouldn't quit. I got to tell you, Mick, I don't know how you feel about the Magpies. And I told Dave this. The Magpies, man, those guys are like Raider fans, bro. Like the Sydney Swans, they were very unlikable, even though I had money on them. All their players are like pretty boys. You got buddies like pushing people around and stuff. The blonde guy, who's the annoying blonde guy.
You said they were like
Dubsy. He's a Sydney Swan fan. They all like, like the crowd was all like, all decked out in the expensive gear. They all had nice hair. They all had hot chicks. And then the Magpie section was like fat chicks with no teeth, like in just like an old like Collingwood t-shirt, like yelling, like yelling at their own players, yelling at the refs. There was little kids with mohawks and face paint yelling. And they were, dude, I was like, man, I like this crowd. Like they were hardcore and they didn't tap out on their team. Dave, they lost 96-95. They were down by like 46 points in the conference championship game to get to the final, and they fell just short by a point. It was one of the craziest like desperation endings I've ever seen in my life in any sporting event. Sydney were in full out choke mode, and they were like hanging on for dear life. And Geelong and the announcer was amazing. Dude, the crowd. It was one of the best games I've ever seen in my life in any sporting event ever, Mick. It was insane.
Sleeping. Mick was sleeping.
And you slept through it.
Unbelievable.
Well, let me explain. First of all, after the show with you guys, I went and umpired ref Aussie rules football here. I came back, watched the Elks, then I watched my home team, the Gawler South Lions, and I fell asleep at 12 o'clock. Not one beer. And I got up in the morning and watched the game. And to see your tweets was fantastic, Gabe, because it was a brilliant game. And those Collywobble Magpies, they won so many close games all through the year, came down to 1 point. But you're right, my nephew and brother-in-law were in the crowd in Sydney, and all the Collywobble fans probably drove up from Melbourne, about a 10-hour drive or so. So, yes, they're the biggest club in Australia, the black and white Collywobble Magpies. Coached
hardcore fan base, huh?
Yeah, it came from 17th. Came from 17th to make the final 4 teams and nearly got there.
They earned my respect. I got a soft spot in my heart for the Magpies now after watching how those guys battled back. And Sydney were jerks, man. Like Sydney earlier in the game, Dave, you should have seen. It's not like they were bullying them. Like they were pushing them, like slapping them in the back of the head. Like when they were routing, they were like, "You guys suck." They were pushing them around, and then Collingwood just came back, man, and started scoring on them. Sydney were in full-out choke mode. I think Geelong beat them. I think the Cats are going to beat them tonight, Mick. I already got my parlay in, the multi with USA to win the President's Cup, parlayed with the Geelong Cats to win on the money line tonight. Talk to me about this game tonight. I like the Cats, but are they going to cover the 12.5, or should go for the 1-39? What do you think?
Well, first of all, we've got to pay tribute to the American, Big Mason Cox for Collingwood. He had a good year. He was nearly out of the team. He had a good year, the only American playing AFL. You're right, I am picking the Cats. About 12.5, it went from 10.5. I like them to win and probably cover. I like
open 7.5, guys. It actually, because I was on top of it right after the game last Friday night, Mick. I tweeted out at like 6 a.m. Let me be the first in the world to tweet out the point spread, and it was 7.5 at the time, up to 12.5. Everybody's betting on the Cats.
Wow, I knew it started. I thought 10.5, so you were the first in the world. I also do probably like the over. Both teams can score. It might start off very tight, as often the grand finals do, and then it could open up in the second half, but a lot of star players on either teams. You can bet on the best player, the first goal, all sorts of things. There'll be close on 100,000 people there in Melbourne at the MCG. And I'm glad it's a day game in Australia because we get to watch it at 10:30 at night here, 9:30 your time. Gabe, you're probably the only one that wishes it goes to a night game so you can watch it from 1 a.m. But it starts 10:30 Mountain, 9:30 Pacific.
I'm disappointed. I thought that it was at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 West Coast time. And I was planning on doing sports rage, and it ends at midnight. And I was actually going to go out to a local sports bar to watch the AFL Championship, Dave. Mix it up, go and hang and watch some AFL footy in the middle of the night and bet on it. That was a good time. But it's on at 9:30. I'm live at 9. So we're going to be live in-game. Like I said, I'm going to be the only show in North America with live in-game betting coverage of the AFL Championship tonight.
That's fantastic.
And you can watch the game, Dave, because it's only 9:30.
But wait a second. Who's having live in-game betting Australia rules football? Because they didn't even the NFL football.
No. They do. That was a glitch. They do.
All right, just making sure.
I think they get more action on this than they do the NFL. They'll be ready for this. Trust me. In-game live all access continues. So I jumped in on the over this Montreal Alouette game. As I say that, they fumble the snap. God, Trevor Harris sucks. Traded the wrong guy. 7-0 Hamilton right now. We're on over 36.5 in this football game. I got Montreal on the money line as well, but we just clicked over 36.5. I expect this game to open up. And so, okay, final thoughts, Mick, on the AFL. We'll get into the NFL after here. So I think Geelong are going to beat them. And I think they're going to cover the 12.5. The game last week sailed over the 164.5, Mick. I got to go with the over here, too. I already have the Geelong Cats at a $500 parlay with the golf. I'm going to lay the 12.5 as well, and I'm going to take the over in the game. What's your final picks here, Mick?
Yeah, I'm with you. Cats between 2 to 4 goals, so that's 14 points plus. If the Swans are going to win, it's going to be just, I think. So the Cats have got a chance to blow it out. But like I said, even with 5 minutes to go, they can be swings and a team can get 3 goals in the last 5 minutes. So be careful. Cats are a little bit better. Experienced. Patrick Dangerfield, the star, has been rested. He'll probably be a chance to get best on ground, so you can lay that at plus 600. You can go for first goal, so go for Stengel or Papley for first goal, all sorts of things. The weather's going to be mostly good, slight chance of rain. Hope it's a good, close game. Cats by 2 to 4 goal is the preferred pick by most of the experts, including my dad, who was a Cats fan after the Crows.
What about this? Jeremy Cameron to score 2 or more goals in the game and Geelong to win. Like Cameron should score.
Wow.
That's the boost, Dave.
Wow.
Jeremy Cameron to score 2 or more goals in the match, and match result will be Geelong. It's minus 120. It doesn't pay that much. They're like 200 on the money line, though.
Does a guy score 2 goals often? Is that
yes,
a regular occurrence? Right? So that's not bad. And if you like Geelong, you get him at a good price, right?
Okay, so what is it, Mick? It's called the Gary Ayres Medal. So this is for the MVP, right? I was looking for this earlier. The most outstanding player MVP, the Gary Ayres medalist.
No, it's called the Norm Smith Medal, and you can see the odds. And Dangerfield's favourite, Jeremy Cameron.
It's okay to say you don't know, Mick.
It's the Norm Smith Medal. Take it, have some fun with it. And my mate Yank on the footy, he likes Brad Close at plus 6,600. So there's a bit of a roughie for a few dollars.
Now Dave's bothering someone. I can't find Norm Smith.
No, I don't. I don't even know what he's talking about. I'm completely frozen on my phone.
I was looking for it earlier, and it was driving me crazy. I was like, "Where's the damn MVP of the game?" All right, I know it's Norm's. Okay, hold on, Mick.
Props on.
Player props. Hold on, Mick. So what the hell is the Gary Ayres Trophy?
What is that?
It's got to be something for tonight, considering there's only Geelong and Sydney players that can win it, Dave. So it's something. Gary Ayres, Mick. What's the Gary Ayres
Gary
medal?
Ayres he's a former champion from the Hawthorn Hawks, but it's the Norm Smith Medal for the best player. Trust me.
I know, but I'm asking you, what the hell is the Gary Ayres medal means?
Not the night for this. It's not the night for this, Mick. You better answer the question. Moretzi's fired.
Gary Ayres medal. It pops up. The AFL Coach Association has presented recognition to players for the best player throughout final series.
Through the series, yes, through the series. So
what's the other thing?
It's a pretty standard question then, Mick.
Listen, Gary Ayres is for the best player throughout the final series. So it will be a Cats or a Swans. Maybe Jeremy Cameron's had the best series throughout.
Oh.
And someone like Chad Warner as well. So take Chad Warner to win the Norm Smith as well. So
that's like the Conn Smythe
in the finals.
That sounds like the Conn Smythe Trophy.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, yeah,
what about? I'm taking Patrick Dangerfield at plus 275.
Well, you know why I don't barrack for him? Because he left the Adelaide Crows because he wanted to be closer to home for Geelong. Well, I've lived halfway across the world.
So you're not giving us the pick because he left the team you like?
Hey?
What's going on, right?
You ignored him just because he left the team?
Of course, he was a star.
For the record, Mick, the guy you picked is 40-1.
Oh,
Tom Hawkins, 40-1 to win the Gary Ayres medal. 40-1.
Mick, that's a walk-off.
Mick, you can host the show. Yeah. You can host the show.
Yeah. That's it. You got a full-time spot every Friday. We'll come get your NFL picks.
We'll kiss your ass for a while. If you're right and Tom Hawkins wins the Gary Ayres medal, now I got to bet.
No, I didn't say it.
I got to put
take Cameron before him.
He's 150-1.
What?
Well, he's giving out player.
40-1.
He's
what?
Better. He's played. Hawkins is good, but he's at full forward. Cameron's a great player. He plays centre forward, gets lots of goals. He's really good.
Even me and Dave know we're not doing this. Like Dave, these are the odds. Luke Parker, Sydney plus 225. Callum Mills, Sydney plus 275. Patrick Dangerfield, Geelong plus 275. Jack Crisp.
Jack Crisp. I just want to bet that guy because of his name, Jack Crisp.
Tom Hawkins is 40-1. Yeah, he's not even playing anymore, Jack Crisp. He got eliminated from Collingwood. So it is the MVP to playoffs, the entire playoffs. Tom Hawkins. I'm going to go with Dangerfield. If I think they're going to win, he's going to be on the winning team. This sort of logic. The best guy on the winning team is going to win. What are your best bets in the NFL? How are the Denver Broncos going to do against the 49ers?
Big game Monday night. Oh, my goodness.
Sunday night.
Monday's
the Giants-Cowboys.
Yeah, that's right. Sunday night. Yeah.
We have two of the greatest coaches in the history of the NFL going head-to-head. Shanahan and Nate Hackett. Battle of the minds. Who do you like? Shanahan should be able to out-coach Nate Hackett, but it's a tough game here, Mick. You guys can win this game.
Well, I hope Dangerfield doesn't win the medal. But anyway, yes, I sadly think 49ers are going to destroy him. We have been absolutely terrible. And all these NFL coaches, they're not real smart, are they? Oh, we got an extra game of the season. Let's not play preseason. And they're terrible. Denver Broncos have been disgraceful. They were lucky to beat the Texans. 49ers, I hate to say it, at -1.5. That, along with the Chiefs to destroy the Colts, would be my two best bets. But it's crazy. I've changed my picks so often. It's ridiculous. And don't bet too much on the NFL. It's too hard right now.
Mick Aussie with us. All right, so what's yeah?
What do you like in the Baltimore-New England game? Give me the Baltimore-New England game. Oh, yeah.
I hope Dangerfield doesn't win.
He had to slide that in there before he gave us the Denver pick. Baltimore-New England, Mick. You got a side?
What are your best bets?
Total? What do you got? Come on.
I started on the Ravens and then someone tried to talk me into the Patriots. I think the Ravens might get it done just. But there's so many games up and down. But I think some of the games will go under because there's some really average teams right now.
Oh.
So what's your sheet tell you, Mick? What are your multis?
Yeah, what do you got?
What do you got for us? You only got 2 minutes left here. What do you got?
All right. Safest bet, multi, Chiefs and Eagles together. Then maybe the Vikings and the Bengals. I like the Bills on the minus. I like the Cowboys and the Giants to go under. That'll be a terrible game. And the Texans and the Bears to go under as well. That'll be a terrible game.
That's pretty good. Is there going to be a good game?
The under the Texans game.
The terrible games. That's a lot of terrible games. Give me what game is going to go over, Mick? Do you have a game that you think is going to be at least a good game, entertaining game? I don't know.
Yes,
all the terrible games.
The Bills and the Dolphins, baby.
I think the two legend quarterbacks, Tom and Aaron, the Bucks and the Packers might go over. But who's going to end up being the biggest douchebag between Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers? Who knows? They're both money hungry and they're turning into idiots. So I'm sticking with Tom Brady and the Bucks, even though he's struggling at wide receivers.
Aaron Rodgers didn't rip off the state of Mississippi. There's a little bit of a difference, but okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that was something else.
I do like the Texans Bears pick. All right, Mick Aussie. You going to be able to stay up for the game tonight, Mick? 9:30, not past your bedtime. You going to be all right?
Absolutely. The pre-game will be good, and hope you enjoy it because it could be a ripper game. And Gabe, great you've been covering the AFL for us. Thanks, man.
See you.